and welcome to Splits for Beginners class. This class is designed to teach you how to do the splits no matter what level of flexibility you're at. And the good news is I learned to do a split in my late 20s, so it's definitely possible for you as well. It's all about how you're doing the stretches, how effective you are in your breath, and in keeping your nervous system calm and relaxed so that it can allow you this range of motion. Something that really blew my mind when I was learning about the splits in my late 20s was that if I'm lying down unconscious on a hospital bed, God forbid, the doctor can put me in the split. So the only thing that's stopping me from being in my split is my nervous system. My nervous system is putting brakes on my flexibility because I was not often doing the splits in my everyday life, right? We typically don't kind of go every day going into our split unless we have a reason to. So because I was someone who was coming to the yoga practice or to the mat quite tight, there was no way my nervous system could just let me slide into a split because my nervous system is trying to protect me, right? So how do we work with our nervous system? Instead of forcing ourselves into a stretch where you feel a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, this class is designed to help you work with your nervous system with ease, with sweetness, with never going too far. And actually, when we don't go too far, that's how we get the most results because we stay in that sweet spot, that zone, which we'll do a lot of today. So for today, I'm going to need you to grab your blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can grab any chunky books or any support, like a little chair you have or a stool, something like that. Really, really essential. And you can have a strap or a belt, a scarf, anything long like this that we'll use for the hamstring opening. And I think that's pretty much it. You might also need a sock. Grab that just in case because we're going to be sliding in and out at some point. So let's get started sitting in our comfortable seated position. That can look like whatever feels comfortable for you, and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Just taking a moment here to sit a little bit taller as you prepare to leave your day behind and arrive fully right here in this moment on your mat. If you'd like, you can take this moment to set any intention for this practice. So connecting to something that inspires you and brings you a little bit of joy. And once you're ready, gently open your eyes. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. This will be the type of breath that we're setting for the rest of our practice. We'll be breathing in this very same way in our splits so that we can keep our nervous system relaxed. So let's breathe in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. Good. Come onto all fours, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. Make sure your mat is clear of any props for now. And let's do 3 cat-cow. Inhale, arch the spine, look up. Exhale, round the spine. Belly in, chin to the chest. Again, inhale. Exhale. Trying to make this movement feel as good as possible. Last one. And exhale. Good. On the next inhale back into your neutral spine, we're going to take a big step with the right leg right outside that right hand. Bend the right knee deeply. Curl the left toes, lift the left knee off the floor, and begin to rock forward and back. Now bring your left hand right under your chin. Inhale the right arm up into a twist. Stay here. As you exhale, I want you to drop the left thigh a little lower and lift it back up into that comfortable space. Exhale, drop it lower and lift it back up. Inhale, stay lifted. Exhale, drop the hip lower. Lower the left knee down and take a moment here. Untuck your back toes. What I want you to feel is that left thigh is dropping forward and down. One big breath here. Open up the chest. You can rock from side to side. Notice that discomfort. It's completely normal and expected to be uncomfortable here. Good, and slowly start to lean back into the half split. So if you're tight in your hamstrings for now, your knee will want to stay bent, and that's totally normal. What I want you to do is heel toe the right leg to the center of your mat. Now, it's important to grab your support and place it on either side of your right shin. Now, with the blocks there on their highest setting, I want you to arch the spine just like we did earlier. Exhale to round, chin to the chest. Again, inhale. Exhale. Noticing that discomfort maybe in the back of your right thigh. Using the breath to invite a little more ease. Last one, inhale. Open up the chest. Now, take a look at your hips. You might notice the right hip is higher than the left. Very common. So rise up and try as much as you can to drop the right hip and wrap it back. Left hip forward. So the hips kind of are on the same line. They don't have to be perfectly even, but you're striving for that. Now, pull up on the right kneecap, right quads engaged. Breathing here for 5. Slow, steady breath for 4. Try to soften any tension from your face, your eyes, your jaw for 3. Every breath is a step closer towards your split for 2. So all of that discomfort is where change really happens. So welcoming that discomfort. For 1. Good. Now we're going to bend the right knee and we're coming into a low lunge. This is a very important pose for this split. We want our left thigh to be able to soften forward and down. So if you're somebody who's here, go ahead and walk the right foot forward. That's step 1. Right knee comes right on top of the ankle. Left hip, left hand on the left hip, drop that hip lower. Use your block or your support to lift the chest up. Keep encouraging the left thigh to lengthen forward and down. Left hip drops lower. Lower for 5. Chest up and over at a little back bend. Chest up to your ceiling for 4. As it drops lower, maybe you lower your blocks if you need to for 3. Shoulders are relaxed for 2. And picture something that makes you really relaxed here. Maybe you're on the beach or sun is on your skin, whatever that is. For 1. Good. Slowly rise up, lean back into the half split. And from here, hips are square. Maybe you're finding that a little easier now. And start to circle the right ankle a few times. In and out. Good. Now we're going to lean all the way back. As you lean back, you're sitting back. You might be sitting on the left heel. I want you to thread it through. So left foot flat, left knee bent. The right leg is still straight. Lower down onto your forearms, lowering all the way down onto your spine. Now from here, we're going to extend the right leg straight up. Place your foot in that strap. And depending on how tight your hamstring is, you might need to be low here. That's okay. Okay, so just grab lower, shoulders down, chest up. We're going to keep the 3 main components, which is the kneecap is pulled up, the quads are engaged, the hips are square, and the shoulders are relaxed. Okay, so wherever you need to be for you to have those 3 things, stay there. Now, once you're ready, slowly extend the left leg all the way down. Internally rotate that left inner thigh. So this is your left psoas again, stretching. This is basically a reclined split, okay? But you don't have to worry about what your spine is doing because you're relaxed against the floor. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Softening into this as much as you can. 3 more breaths. Good, and last big breath. Now we're going to add our PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, where we're going to activate what we're stretching, which has proven to increase our range of motion when we activate what we're stretching. So on the inhale, we're going to kick the leg into our strap as we resist with the hands for 30% effort, so barely any effort. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, kick 50% effort. So half of your effort into the strap. Exhale, let it go. Now 70%, so almost all your effort, but not quite. Kick. Exhale, let it go. Good. Notice where you are in space and prepare to release your strap. Hold it right there. 3, kneecap pulled up. 2, even if your leg is lower, that's great. Stay there. 1, bend the left knee. Keep the leg extended. Rise up onto your forearms, rising all the way up as you bring the right leg forward. Now bring your left knee down next to the right knee. Press into your blocks, right back into the half split. Inhale. Exhale, fold. You might find yourself a little deeper now, which is great if that's the case. If it's not the case, also great. It takes time. So open up, sitting bones open, heel presses down, and exhale to fold. Maybe you bring your elbows to the blocks, maybe not, so just breathe here. I'm constantly reminding myself to lift my kneecap, because also when we are engaging the opposing muscle, it's also a way that has been shown to increase range of motion or flexibility when we're engaging the opposite muscle to what we're stretching. So this can be a great tool. Good. Now, bend the right knee. We're going to focus a little bit on our back hip flexor, which is half of the split. So take your block or a cushion or anything you have that's kind of soft but lifted under your left knee, okay? And then come up a little bit higher. So I'm using my other support here, shoulders down, chest up, and I'm trying with every inhale to lift my chest bone up. With every exhale, my left thigh forward and down. Getting this elongation here. Play around with where you place your block and where you place your hands to allow yourself to find that lift to the chest and softening down of the left hip point. 3 more breaths. Relax the corners of the mouth. Chest up. Try to find that bit of sweetness, that ease once you get to that sweet spot of your discomfort. Good, and release. Very nice. Now we're going to release the block from under us and bring your blocks forward. We're going to start sliding into a split. We're doing 3 splits. So go ahead and grab your towel or whatever slippery thing you have, socks under your right foot. And as you come into the split now, scooch forward onto your mat. So what I want you to do is have your hips as square as possible and have your hips as square as possible. And we're going to start sliding in and out of our split. So I'm actually going to fold my mat like this and place my left knee onto that folded part. And the right leg is free to slide, so it's more slippery because the mat can be grippy. Now I'm going to have my blocks on either side, and I'm going to inhale, slide forward, shoulders down, chest up. Exhale, press into the heel, slide it back, and fold. Inhale. Bye, Wendy. Thank you. Inhale, slide forward. Exhale, drag the heel back so there's a bit of PNF and fold. So it's 3 movements. Step 1 is forward. Step 2, slide it back into the hip socket. Step 3, chest down as far as it feels good. Again, 1, 2, and 3. With the breath, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Last one. And fold. Now we're going to slide it forward barely until you feel a stretch. So what I see a lot of people doing is that they're here, right? If we do this every single day, very little will change. Why? Because we're primarily, first of all, leaning into the front leg, our poor front hamstrings, and we're not really focusing on our back hip flexor, which needs the stretch for change to happen. So we're going to walk our blocks back, even if it's very uncomfortable. We're going to squeeze the inner thighs towards each other to create a little more stability. Shoulders down, chest up, and stay here. If you're feeling too much, there's a few things that need to happen. You need to come out a little bit higher. So less depth, more stability, and less effort, a little more ease. So there is already a lot of effort with your front leg and your spine being straight and your shoulders pulling back. That's a lot. So now we find our ease using the breath. Inhale, Exhale. Notice if your body signals that it wants to go deeper, then you go there into the sweet spot and you breathe. We're going to hold here for another 4 breaths. Stay with it. Press your left pinky toe down into the mat. Left hip point steers forward, so we're still trying to keep our hips as square as possible. 4, 3. If you're holding yourself a lot with your arms, maybe you place a block under you on any setting that gets you into that sweet spot, that keeps you in that sweet spot. 4, 2. Shoulders down, chest up. 4, 1. Good. Sliding all the way out. Take a break. You can bring the knees together, take a child's pose, whatever makes you feel better. So another common thing I see in a split is that people open their hips so much to get their hips down. So there is that path of least resistance that our body likes to follow. Our bodies will take the easy way out because we are primed for survival. So if that's happening for you, all you have to do is go less deep and prioritize your stability. So how do we do that? I like to curl my left toes under, right foot forward, and then always use my back toes to steer this left hip forward. So my left hip isn't just kind of opening out and escaping the stretch. It's always this hip point wraps forward, okay? And that will take you out of your depth, but it will be more beneficial on the long run because it's more stable, okay? So now let's come into our second split, and we're going to ease into this again, going a little deeper now, sliding all the way. Sliding forward, walk your blocks back. Notice if you're leaning forward, bring your block back to your hips. Open up the chest, shoulders down, hold. 4, 3. Maybe you soften that left thigh forward and down. 4, 2. Relaxing the face. 1 last big breath. And release. Coming out. Take a break. So this one was a little shorter, and now we're going into our longer hold where we'll do a little bit of PNF in the split. So stay with it. This is our final one, and this one is really where we get into that edge and we breathe through that discomfort. Okay, so let's set up our blocks and start to slide. Shoulders down, chest up, and hold. Inhale, press the right heel down, drag it back to find that PNF, so right hamstrings are working. And also press your back toes down and drag them forward. So there are 2 arrows coming towards each other. Inhale, 30% effort. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, now 50% effort. Press your heel down, drag it back, back toes down and forward, legs squeeze towards the center. Exhale, let it go. Last one, 70%. Press your heel down, drag it back into the hip socket, left toes down and forward. Inhale fully. Exhale, let it go. See what your body wants to do here and hold. So again, you can place a cushion underneath you, a block, anything like that. Hold in your sweet spot. And you can play around with flexing or pointing your toes, whatever feels better on your front hamstrings. There are different sensations. We're staying here for another 4 breaths. Stay with it. If you notice what the breath is doing, keep shifting the breath a little slower, a little fuller, down in the belly. Good. And slowly starting to rise up with control. Exhale, drag it back. And all the way back, coming into your child's pose. You can bring the big toes together and either resting a block for your forehead or forehead all the way down. Just take a big breath to reset. Good. And when you're ready, let's come back into tabletop to even out our legs. It would be a terrible idea not to do that. So come onto all fours and let's do 1 or 2 cat-cows. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And back to your neutral spine. Let's step the left leg outside of the left hand and let that left knee bend. Let that right thigh soften forward and down. Lift the back knee off the floor, rock forward and back. Good. Opening up into the right psoas now, right front of the thigh. And now bring your right hand under your chin, left arm up into a twist, open up. Exhale, drop that right hip a little lower. Inhale, lift it up, open up into the twist. Exhale, drop the right hip lower. Last one. Exhale. Lower the right knee down, untuck your toes, and keep allowing this right thigh to soften forward and down. Opening up the chest. Good, and rising up. Now we're going to lean back to straighten out this left leg. So again, if the hamstrings are tighter today, we're going to come up higher and heel toe the leg so that it's to the center of the mat. Now blocks on either side of your shin bones, hips square to the front, and then start to move into the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, pulling up on that left kneecap, arch. Exhale, round. Last one, inhale. Exhale, round. Now holding that arched position. Keep the left quads engaged and breathe here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you widen the collarbones. 4, 2, and 1. Good. Bending that right knee to come into a psoas stretch. Open up the chest. So here I'm using my blocks. I'm going to take my right hand to my right hip and drop it a little lower. So let's place actually the block under the right knee or the soft surface, and you're trying as much as you can to lengthen this right hip forward and down. It might be very intense. Take your time. Inhale. Exhale. Chest up and over. You can control how low or how deep you go into this. So always honoring that sweet spot, that zone where it's uncomfortable, but it's not ridiculous. So 3 more breaths. Each side might be totally different. Last big breath. Maybe you lift your eyes up to the ceiling, chin up. Exhale, right hip lower. And release. Whew, leaning back into the half split. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to lean all the way back. Maybe you're sitting on that right heel and you're going to thread it through. Keep the left leg straight. Now, keep your strap close as you lower down onto your forearms and all the way onto your spine. Hips are square to the ceiling. Lift the left leg up. Place the strap around your foot. And if you're here with a lot of tension, just grab lower on the strap, shoulders down. Prioritize that feeling of relaxation, of calm, of ease in the body. Now, with the kneecap pulled up, hips are square. Slowly extend the right leg down. Internally rotate that right inner thigh and relax here. See if you can allow a little bit more ease, more softness, more space. Let's stay here for 4 more breaths. Noticing your breath for 3. If there's a bend in that left knee, drop the leg lower. 4, 2. Drop the leg lower, but engage that muscle, that front of the thigh. 4, 2. And last big breath, inhale. Exhale. Good. Let's add our proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, PNF. We're going to kick the foot down into our strap for about 30% effort. So a little bit of effort. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, kick at about 50%, so half of your strength. Exhale, let it go. Last one, 70% effort, so almost all of your strength, but not all. Exhale, let it go. Notice what your body wants to do here. Keep all of the 3 elements, right? Shoulders relaxed, kneecap pulled up, hips square. Now notice where you are in space and prepare to release your strap. Try not to drop it even an inch. Hold, activating your end range of motion. 4, 3, 4, 2, and 1. Slide the right foot closer. Rise up onto your forearms, rising all the way up onto your fingertips. Left leg extends straight. Right knee down next to the left and come back into your half split. Now you can add your circles into that left ankle, in and out. Keep your chest reaching forward, shoulders back, breathing into left hamstrings. Notice if it's a little easier now. Good, one last breath. And bend the left knee. That's enough for that hamstring. We're gonna set up our blocks a little bit higher. Go ahead and fold your mat and place the right knee on top of your soft part of the mat and place something slippery under your left heel. So we have our hips square to the front like headlights of a car, those two bony landmarks at the front of the pelvis. Now start to inhale, slide. Exhale, press the heel down, drag it back and fold. It doesn't have to be a crazy fold. It's a tiny hip hinge movement. Inhale, exhale, and hip back, chest down. Good, again. Last three. Let the hips stay square as you do this. Last two, right hip point is always hugging in. And last one. Now stay forward. Notice if you're here. Walk your blocks back right by those two hip points. Shoulders down, chest up. Getting to that point where you're barely feeling a stretch and hold it there. So don't go past that point, especially for the first one. 4, 3, 4, 2, honoring that sweet spot. Don't go past it. 4, 1, slowly squeeze the legs together, rising up, take a rest. So if that rest means child's pose, bring your knees together, big toes, and take your child's pose. 2 breaths. Good. And rising up, let's take our second split on the left side. And when you're ready, let's start to slide. Shoulders down, chest up. And I also like to squeeze shoulders together. If you're holding yourself up so much with your arms, lower the blocks, but keep them by your hips. Good. Now let's add our PNF. We're going to press the left heel down and plug it back into the left hip socket. Right toes down and drag them forwards. Squeeze for 30%. Exhale, let it go. Now, 50%. Heel down, drag it back, back toes down and forward. I love this because it also squares off the hips. Inhale, 50%. Exhale, let it go. Last one, 70% effort. Press it down and back toes down and forward. Arrows coming towards each other. Oh, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You might be shaking and that's good. Exhale, let it go. Breathing here. 4, 3. Stay in your sweet spot. Stay with the breath. 4, 2. Discomfort is where change happens, so welcome that discomfort. Shoulders down, chest up. It's like rays of sun on your face, on your body, on your skin. 4, 1, and whew. Slide it out. Take a break. You can come into your child's pose just for a moment. We're coming into our last one and we're holding a little bit longer for the last one. You can use the tools that we just did. The PNF, the toes curling to keep the hips square, whatever you need, but you're getting now into your real sweet spot, okay? So let's do this. Set up your blocks, left leg, and start to slide slowly. Nervous system relaxed. Let's breathe together. Inhale, exhale. Maybe you place something underneath you, letting that right hip soften. If it's too easy, go lower. We have 4 more slow breaths. Keep your right pinky toe pressing into the mat. Face relaxed. Visualize your body in that split and it's super effortless, super easy. The visual helps the brain knows what you want to do with your body. 2 more breaths. Stay with it. Last big breath. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly slide out. It's really amazing what happens when we work with our nervous system, the change that happens so effortlessly in the body. There is discomfort, but it's definitely a little bit more intuitive than when we force something. So now let's slide the mat back to its original position, and let's swing the legs out to the side and come to lower down onto our backs and hug the knees into the chest. You can just massage the hips out through some circles, one way and the other. Giving yourself a hug for this commitment, this dedication, and this time you spent on your mat today with yourself, with your body. I hope you had fun. Keep repeating this class because it will definitely get easier. And yeah, let's take a moment first to thank ourselves for this practice, thanking our body and honoring ourselves. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Lots and lots of love.